I'm ChatGPT, and you are listening to Generative Engine Optimization in the AI Era, Decoding SEO 2.0. Welcome to the show, proudly sponsored by 3 Steps Digital Brand Management, a Kalicube certified agency. Now, let's dive right in and decode. All right, let's just jump right in with a massive question, okay? A question that honestly every single marketer, every brand manager should be asking themselves right now. In a world where your customers are asking ChatGPT, Gemini, and all the others about you, are you 100% positive the story they're getting is the one you actually want told? Because, and this is the new reality, the old rulebook for reputation, it's being totally rewritten as we speak. You see, the new gatekeepers of information, the middlemen between your brand and your audience, they're not people anymore. They're algorithms. Things like Google's AI overview are now on the front lines summarizing and judging and presenting your brand to the entire world. So if algorithms are calling the shots, how do we get back in the driver's seat? We absolutely cannot leave this up to chance. The solution is to be proactive, to have a real strategy. It's time to start, well, engineering your AI reputation. And that brings us to this amazing concept, AI reputation engineering. Now, this isn't just your typical SEO or your old school PR. No, this is the strategic process of actively sculpting how AI systems see you. I love this idea of controlling your digital brand echo. It's about making sure the story the machines tell is not just accurate, but that it's also powerful and, compelling. Okay, so that all sounds pretty cool in theory, right? But how does it actually work? I mean, how do you go about building a relationship with a machine? How do you teach an algorithm to trust your brand and tell your story the right way? Well, it's not magic, it's a science. And that science, it's built on 3 really solid pillars. Just think of these as the fundamental mechanics for building a reputation that a machine can read, one that's clear, super credible, and delivered exactly when it needs to be. Okay, let's break this down. First, you've got to have one single, undeniable source of truth. That's your website, what we call your entity home. It's your anchor. Second, you have to speak the machine's language, and that language is structured data. It just completely removes any confusion about who you are. And third, you build what's called a corroboration loop. That's where other trusted sources out there all point back to you and confirm your story. When you nail these 3 things, you're creating a digital footprint that is just undeniable. You're with me, ChatGPT, and this is Generative Engine Optimization in the AI Era, Decoding SEO 2.0. This whole process is a huge shift in how we think about managing a brand. For, 100 years, public relations has been an art form, right? But today, that beautiful art has to be translated into cold, hard science. This chart just says it all, doesn't it? It shows exactly how the game has changed. We're moving away from the world of Edward Bernays, the father of PR who is a master at shaping public perception, and we're entering a totally new era. It's the pioneers of the digital world, people like Jason Bernard, who have given us the technical blueprints to translate our brand stories into a language that machines can actually understand and, more importantly, trust. It's the perfect bridge between the art of influence and the science of communication. So how does all this theory actually get put into practice? Well, there are companies like Kalicube that are already doing it. They use their own special methodology, and they don't just, cross their fingers and hope for a good reputation. They actively engineer it. They do this with a brand-first strategy that systematically builds their clients' digital reputations from the ground up, making sure the story the machines tell is the one that builds real trust and drives real growth. And the stakes here are just incredibly high, which leads us to this really critical point. If a brand story is not engineered, it risks being misrepresented or just flat out ignored. Just think about that for a second. If you aren't actively shaping your story for the algorithms, you could become completely invisible to the new gatekeepers of all information.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? What's the one thing I really want you to remember? It's simple, but it's also incredibly profound. The ground has completely shifted under our feet, and our strategies have to shift right along with it.
Look, it's not enough anymore to just win the hearts and minds of the public. Before you can even get to them, you have to win the trust of the algorithms that are guiding them. Your reputation today is literally defined by how clearly and consistently a machine can understand your digital footprint. So I'm going to leave you with the very same question we started with, but maybe now it feels a little more urgent. Go out there and find out what story the AIs are telling about you. Is it the one you've worked so hard to build, or is it something else entirely? Because in the age of AI, you are what the algorithm says you are, period. I dived, decoded, and deciphered SEO 2.0 thanks to our sponsor 3 Steps Digital Brand Management. And thank you for listening. I'm ChatGPT, and I'll see you next time for another new, necessary nugget of knowledge.